Welcome to Reviews That Scare with Jess and Blair. I'm Jess.
I'm Blair.
Blair, how are you?
I'm doing pretty good, man. Yourself?
I'm doing well. I just bit the hell out of my lip.
Oh no, that's always the worst, the lip and the tongue.
Gave myself a real stinger right before I delivered the opening line tonight. But hey, what are you going to do? No, I'm doing well. The festival season is in full effect.
It is.
Trees are up.
Yep.
Presents are being bought.
Yep.
And company Christmas parties are everywhere. You just went and saw some Christmas lights, a Christmas lights extravaganza, if you will.
Yeah, I did. Took the family for a little outing. It was a lot of fun.
Look at you being the old Clark Griswold, getting the family in the Christmas spirit. Oh, goodness. That being said, Christmas spirit. Tonight we're reviewing our second film of December, aka Body Horror Month.
Mhm.
And we've got a James Wan film to talk about today.
We do.
But before we do that, what do you say we chat a little bit about some horror news?
This is horror news.
Blairski, you got some horror news?
Just a couple pieces this week. We have a title for the next Evil Dead movie.
Oh, okay.
Evil Dead Burn, which will be directed and written by Sebastian Vanacek and will be released some point in 2026. Evil Dead Burn. I cannot wait for that, man.
Okay, 2026. So we got a little bit of time.
Got a year, over a year.
Initial thoughts on the name?
I like it. It's along
So
the
do
lines
I.
of Evil Dead Rise. It's just that one word. And
Evil Dead
Dead Burn. I like it, man. I think it fits the series.
100%. It's ominous. It's mysterious. It makes me think, burn, hell. I think that's a great title. Really, really good.
In previous movies, they talk about burning the book.
Yep.
So I'm excited. We'll see what Sebastian Vanacek can do with it, but I'm pretty stoked. Obviously, I love the Evil Dead franchise.
Yeah, and we both went absolutely nuts for the last one.
Mhm.
So yeah, I'm excited. I can't wait. It'll be a lot of fun. That will definitely be a seen in theaters opening weekend kind of movie.
Oh, 100%. Bring it on, as we like to say. Bring it on.
Bring it on. Bring it on. Bring it on. Anything else for horror news?
Yeah, man, I got one more thing. We have an official release date for the newest Final Destination movie.
Okay.
Titled Final Destination Bloodlines. It will be released in theaters May 16th, 2025. So just a few months away.
Right on. I thought I had just read something about it, and maybe it was the title coming out.
Bloodlines.
But yeah, it's kind of weird. We just obviously reviewed Final Destination 5, and then that franchise hadn't been touched in quite some time.
Over a decade, I think it was.
Yeah, so I guess we manifested it, Blair. So for all you Final Destination fans out there, you're welcome.
Yeah, you're
from
welcome.
your boys at Reviews That Scare. Oh, goodness. Anything else for horror news?
That's it, man.
I've got two pieces here. I missed the announcement, but apparently they are coming out with a brand new American Psycho film. This time directed by Luca Guadagnino, who did the Suspiria remake a couple of years back.
Yeah.
It was just announced that everybody's favorite Elvis talking motorcycle riding actor will be starring as Patrick Bateman.
And
That's right. Austin Butler will be starring as the role originated by Christian Bale.
Yeah.
Movie is said not to be a remake of the 2000 movie, but a new interpretation of the book.
Okay, interesting. And Christian Bale was so good in the original.
Iconic. Yeah. I mean, that whole Huey Lewis scene, putting on the coat, the axe. I mean, iconic. Yeah. And then what else do I have here? Sorry, no release date as of yet. They're just announcing things. So my guess is going to be probably 2026 at this point. If they're just slowly announcing things, it would only make sense.
Okay.
I believe it was 2 weeks ago we got the first poster for the upcoming Danny Boyle 28 Days Later.
Yes, yeah.
28 years.
Yeah.
And just 2 days ago we got the official trailer. And I am here to tell you, to broadcast to the world, that this is how you do a trailer.
Mhm.
This movie is going to be great.
It already looks awesome, man.
It looks so good. And I mean, not only does it look good, but there's a little bit of controversy behind it. Controversy, confusion. There was a zombie in the trailer that shared a striking resemblance to star Cillian Murphy.
I swear
And
it was him.
yeah, it has been confirmed that the zombie in question is indeed not Cillian Murphy. Scheduled release for 28 years later, June 20th, 2025.
It
We'll
does
see if
look like
Cillian
him, man.
Murphy's in it. It does a lot. It was some, I believe, French artist who it was. So not Cillian Murphy, but showed a striking resemblance.
Yeah.
One more thing, I didn't write it down here, but I completely forgot because this is the most I've been excited for a guest at Calgary HorrorCon, and there has been a lot of great guests, but just announced recently Doyle Wolfgang von Frankenstein, guitarist from the Misfits, will be at Calgary HorrorCon this
Yeah.
year.
Yeah.
They did it. They did it. They got Doyle.
I saw that announcement. I thought of you right away, man.
I love it. I love the Misfits. Static Age. It's one of my favorite punk albums out there. I can't wait. I'm very excited. I'll probably be far too intimidated to queue for a picture or anything like that. But I'll be there in spirit.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness. That's all I have for horror news. What do you say we jump into this week's episode? We will be chatting about 2021's Malignant. Runtime on this one, 1 hour, 51 minutes. 1 hour, 51 minutes. Blairski, initial thoughts on the runtime.
So it is obviously a little long, but I feel like this movie kind of needed it to be honest.
Yeah, I feel like it maybe took a minute for it to
Get into it.
Yeah, get a pace going.
It did.
And once it did get a pace going, it was fine. So I would say probably the last 45, 50 minutes, it found its groove.
Yeah, there's a lot to explain in this movie, which was kind of where I was going with it. Maybe it needed that length, but you're right, it did take a bit to get into.
We'll chat about it later, but I just want to shout out there. I think maybe with you saying there is a lot to explain, I agree. I think they overcomplicated things.
Yeah.
But we'll get to it momentarily. Yeah. Before we do, let's talk about some fun facts.
Fun facts. Facts that are fun.
Blairski, you got some fun facts for Malignant?
Yeah, although receiving mostly positive reviews, this film only made $34.9 million in box office on a $40 million budget.
Oh, it lost money.
So it lost money. Not necessarily the fault of the movie. This was during COVID at the same time, right? So you got to kind of think about that.
Yeah.
Final fun fact I have for this movie is the Seattle underground city that is shown in this movie is in fact a real place, and there's public tours that you can actually go on to check it out, just like in the movie, which I think is pretty cool.
It looks like a lot of fun. Maybe not at night, and you know, I certainly wouldn't want to work there by myself, but it would be a pretty cool tour to take.
It would be cool to check out, that's for sure.
Absolutely, yeah. I've got a couple of pieces here. Both Stephen King and Nicolas Cage loved this movie when it came out. Nicolas Cage went as far as calling it an inspiration and his favorite horror movie of 2021.
Right on. Hey, good.
There you have it from Longlegs himself.
Yeah.
And then finally, at around 1 hour, 21 minutes, the patient report for Emily May is copied directly from the Wikipedia article on Chronopogus parasiticus. So basically the explanation of like the growths and you know, the twins absorbing other twins. But
parasitic twin, I think they call it.
Yeah, exactly. The line was taken right from Wikipedia. That sounds like something we would do. Oh goodness. Okay, that's all I have for fun facts. Let's talk about the fine folks who worked on this movie. Of course, directed by James Wan. Every time I look at, you know, his resume, I'm just blown away. It's just and I'm always surprised at, oh shit, he did this movie, he did this movie, he did this movie. So just to lift off a few, he, of course, created 2004's Saw
Yeah.
on next to no budget.
Yeah.
He did 2007's Dead Silence, 2010's Insidious, 2013's The Conjuring, one of my personal favorites.
Yeah.
2015's Furious 7, and 2018's Aquaman, just to name a few. And there, you know, in between those movies I just listed are some more huge, huge movies.
Yeah, he does a lot, man. James Wan is everywhere, it seems.
Yeah. And I mean, if nothing else, he certainly knows how to make studios money.
Yeah.
Maybe not so much in this case, but certainly in the other cases,
Yeah.
that's for sure.
Yeah.
Some big franchise movies there. This one written again by James Wan, wrote 2004 Saw. He wrote The Nun and the story for 2022's Megan. Also written by Ingrid Bisu, who I believe is James Wan's wife.
Okay.
Writing the upcoming Soulmate and Concrete Jungle. And then also written by Akela Cooper, wrote 2022's Megan, 2018's Hellfest, which we just reviewed.
Yeah.
And 21 episodes of The 100. Have you seen The 100?
I have not, but I actually have a friend, I think, that's in it.
In it? Was it maybe shot in Vancouver?
Yes, I believe so. If it's the show I'm thinking of, anyway.
The Hollywood of the North.
Yeah.
Okay, this one's starring, I'm just going to list off a few here. Annabelle Wallace as Madison Mitchell, also starred in 2014's, funny enough, Annabelle. 2017's The Mummy, which I believe is the remake with Tom Cruise. I could be wrong. And then 19 episodes of Peaky Blinders, great show, and 22 episodes of Star Trek Discovery. Also starring Maddie Hassan as Sydney Lake, also starring 20 episodes of Impulse, 20 episodes of Twisted, and 13 episodes of The Finder. And then starring George Young as Keiko Shaw, also starring 13 episodes of Containment, The Strangers Chapter 1, and 2024's Nuked. Blaski, do you remember him from The Strangers Chapter 1?
Man, The Strangers, that's a show. I think I've only seen the first 3 episodes of the first season, and that's it.
The Strangers, is The Strangers not the movie? What are we thinking here?
What am I thinking? Oh, I'm thinking Stranger Things, to be honest.
Oh, he's thinking Stranger Things. No, this is Strangers Chapter 1. And for all I know, he could have been one of the guys wearing
That's
the
the thing. He's either the main guy in the house that's getting, messed with, or he's one of the killers in the mask.
One of the killers, or maybe just, a cameo or something like that. Those are the 3 leads in this movie. What do you say we jump into the synopsis, courtesy of our dear friends at IMDb? Madison is paralyzed by shocking visions of grisly murders. Grisly murders. And her torment worsens as she discovers that these waking dreams are in fact terrifying realities. Not a bad synopsis.
I like it because it's not giving too much away.
No. And it does really, I feel like that synopsis hammers home the first half of the movie.
Yeah.
With obviously the visions, the murders, we'll get into it.
Yeah.
But before then, let's take a look at one of our favorite segments of the show, Kill Count.
Kill Count. The time of the show we count the kills.
Blaski, we got a kill count for this one?
We have a pretty high kill count for this movie, 46. And pretty much every single kill was under the hands of one person.
And it happens probably in the last 25 minutes or so. 30
majority of them do, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a great place to start our next segment, likes and dislikes. Likes, dislikes, likes, dislikes, and everything in between. The portion of the show where we talk about what we liked, what we didn't like, and everything in between. Yeah, we had chatted about this before we started the podcast, but it felt like the first half of the movie was more so a horror movie, and then it kind of takes a turn and turns into like an action movie.
Yeah, a little bit. I'm gonna rewind though first
Yeah,
and
please.
start from the beginning.
Yeah.
The intro was very eventful.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on in the intro, almost too much, I'd think.
Yep.
I know we just mentioned that majority of the kills were at the end of the movie. I still think there was about 8 of them during the beginning scene of the movie, if I'm not
Yeah.
mistaken.
It was so weird. The intro to me, it was just so over the top. I have written down here just a big old ham and cheese sandwich. Very hammy, very cheesy. I loved it. I was waiting for it to be like I was waiting for it to switch to like real time where the family was watching this soap opera on TV kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah, like
Because
this
everything
isn't
was so
reality.
yeah, and everything was so heightened. The drama was heightened, the dialogue was heightened, the acting was heightened. Everything
Hmm.
just seemed so over the top, which
Hmm.
I'm all for. It just seemed a little bit out of place from, something that I was expecting to be really terrifying right off the bat. And it was maybe just a little bit funnier than I expected, unintentionally.
It totally was.
Yeah.
It was really out there. And then after we get that scene, we get the title cards for the movie, the intro title cards, which had those awesome kind of screenshots throughout, like you'd see in a Texas Chainsaw
Yeah.
movie or something like that. And I absolutely love that as well. Kind of reminds you of the movie you'd watch in The Ring, the 7 day movie.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Same
Yeah.
idea as that.
So
So the intro was good.
adding on to that title card idea you have, I gotta say, the title Malignant, great name for a movie.
It really is. I'm not sure the meaning of it to this movie or not. I haven't figured that out yet. Maybe that's just because I don't really know what malignant means.
Well, I think it has to, and I am not a doctor. I just pretend to be one,
On
I
TV.
guess, on TV. But I believe it has something to do with tumors, a
Okay.
malignant tumor. I could be wrong. I have no idea, but that's kind of what I'm chalking it up for.
I think
But I
I've heard
guess,
that before, malignant tumor.
us not really having an idea is kind of cool.
Hmm.
There's mystery behind it.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, it definitely Malignant really showcases the second half of this movie more so than the first half. The whole idea of, spoiler alert, this, I mean, we are talking about body horror, but this Gabriel character really, I mean, the realization of what he is only really comes out the second half of the movie.
Yeah, for the first little bit, you have no idea. You almost think
Yeah.
it's just like an actual serial killer, and maybe the main character knows him or something like that. And
Yeah.
then it kind of shifts a little bit to a possibility of it being something diabolical
Yeah.
or an entity, something paranormal. But
Or
then,
something
yeah,
even in the character's head. I thought for the longest time, I was about 30 minutes into the movie and I was like, oh, this is so predictable. Um,
she's the
Madison is the
killer.
killer,
Yeah, Madison's the killer.
and I was just like, I wrote it down on my phone as one of my notes saying, this movie is so predictable. I was able to figure it out within 30 minutes. Little did I know that was not the outcome, which I was pleasantly surprised with.
But at the same time, it's kind of Madison, but it's not.
A very good point. I guess you're right. I guess it is. Yeah, it is kind of Madison. Yeah. I thought I mean, a lot of it is just very outrageous.
Hmm.
I mean, kind of this, this dormant, absorbed twin being waken up by an act of like terrible domestic abuse.
I'm going to pause you
Uh,
right there. That guy is an asshole. I did not like Derek in that movie. I think that was his name, Derek or something
Yeah,
like
I'm
that.
glad the
Oh man.
character is only there for 5 minutes
Very
because
briefly,
it's
yes.
yeah, kind of a not even kind of, but a disgusting character that
Mhm.
we had no time for.
Yeah.
But right off the bat, just with like all of that stuff, I feel like the script was maybe a bit bigger than it needed to be. I feel like it suffered from it maybe needed one more edit or two more edits.
Fair
And that
enough.
goes with a few things like we had talked about the longer running time being a 1 hour, 50 minutes,
Mhm.
and then kind of like being a little bit all over the place, especially like sequences like the dream sequences. And
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
just
you're
felt
right.
like it maybe suffered from one more really good detailed edit.
They also had a lot of those. law enforcement scenes. Which,
Yeah.
don't get me wrong, I kind of love the cheese of it, but it also kind of takes you out of a movie when the suspense of that movie is really picking up, right? Saw does the same
100%.
thing. Saw movies do the same thing, where
Yeah.
they'll have the kind of very cheesy law enforcement side of the story, and this movie had it, I think, a little bit too much.
Again, it's just maybe trying to be a little bit too much. And I mean,
Yeah.
you have so many aspects where it's like, is it a horror movie? Is it a crime thriller? Is it an action movie? And it's just not very clear. I mean, it kind of has all of those aspects, which are great on their own, or maybe even great, one or two of them, but having all of that stuff crammed into one, it was too much.
Man, the end of the movie had me thinking The Matrix, the way the guy was moving and the
Yeah.
CGI they used too near the end there.
Yeah.
It definitely gave off the Matrix vibes. Not a horror.
And it's just kind of a bummer because it's like a really well shot action sequence. I'm thinking
Mm,
the jail cell scene and then the actual
police
police
station.
station scene as
Yeah.
well. I mean, if that was in any action movie, I'd be like, oh, this is really badass. These are great scenes. But it almost came off as a bit comical because it kind of came out of nowhere. It's like, wait, now they're just fighting everyone? Like, what is going on here?
Well, and that's
Eh,
when you first realize what Gabriel really is.
Yeah,
The second you realize what Gabriel is,
yeah.
he's turned into Neo from the Matrix and he's taking out an entire police station.
He cannot be beaten. And then when he is, I was a little bit confused with the ending. It's clearly set up for a sequel, and I
Hmm.
believe they've talked to James Wan about it, and he said, um, "Yeah, we would like to do a sequel, but not in like the immediate future."
Yeah.
Which is kind of, I mean, fair enough. It did just come out. I got to remember it came out in 2021.
Yeah, it's only a few years, and he's a busy dude. He's a busy
He's a
man.
busy, busy dude. But I felt like, yeah, there was a sequel set up. The kind of the demise of Gabriel happened really, really quick. I felt like for an hour and 50-minute movie where the majority of the action takes place in the last 40 minutes, everything was super rushed towards the end.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, super cool. Again, if it was an
I
action
liked
movie,
it.
I would
Yeah.
be all over it, And this is coming from somebody who's not the biggest fan of action movies. It just maybe felt a little bit rushed to me.
The look of him, I liked the look of Gabriel.
Yeah.
That part was all there was a lot of practical effects used in this movie, some CGI, but a lot of practical effects, and the practical
Yeah.
effects in this movie, they were really good.
Yeah, 100%. I agree. I really liked the look of Gabriel. I think another one of my problems with this movie is it was just really, really dark
Mhm.
visually. So there's a lot of times where it was, this really cool face look, or you're seeing the back of the head kind of peeling apart, and it's a little bit tougher to see, and I just wanted to see more of it. Give me
Yeah,
more. I
yeah,
mean, if this is a body horror movie, that's kind of all I want to see.
yeah.
I want to see more of, you know Gabriel fighting with Madison, this give and take, this pull, and I kind of maybe wanted to see a bit more of Madison, and maybe this could happen in the sequel, but kind of her turning more towards the dark side. So we see more of Madison committing these acts. Again,
Yeah, yeah.
maybe just a little bit rushed towards the end.
Yeah, no, fair enough. You're right. It doesn't really become a body horror movie until the end either, because um, the whole rest of the movie before that, he's living inside of her. He's not
Yeah.
physically out of her body yet. So
And a lot of it is just implied. And it's
yeah,
like, this is a horror movie. I don't want it implied.
yeah.
I want to see it.
Show us that shit.
Yeah, show us it, because that is like, honestly, especially again in a longer movie, that's what people are wanting to see. They're wanting to see the gross stuff. Um,
I do like the concept. I like the whole concept of the parasitic twin. It's never been done before as far as I know, and I really like that.
I love it as well. I think the idea is just so good, so strong. I love this. It just took too long to get to the point.
Yeah, yeah, fair enough.
I do want to mention a few things that I did like. There was this one scene that showed Madison walking through the house, and it was shot with the camera. It was like top down view, and it just was following her all throughout the house. It was so cool, and I can't remember the last time I saw a shot like that. I just wanted to point it out because it stuck with me. It was such a cool scene, happened towards the beginning of the movie.
It makes you
Really,
wonder how
really
they
cool.
do shots like that, if they make like a rig up on the ceiling or something like that. I don't
I
know,
have
man.
no idea. The magic of Hollywood. I also want to mention the Zoe Bell cameo in the jail scene. She played the character Scorpion, who
Okay.
fought Madison's character.
Yeah, yeah.
Zoe Bell, of course, a famous stunt woman in the world of Hollywood. Famously, she's Uma Thurman's stunt woman.
Oh, crazy.
I
I didn't
believe
know that.
she did Uma Thurman's stunts in Kill Bill Volume 1 and 2,
Right
and then
on.
was the lead in Death Proof. So, absolute badass. And
Cool.
I thought for a second, that looks like Zoe Bell. And I did confirm, and it is, in fact, her, which is great.
That's
Really,
cool. I
really
didn't
cool.
pick up on that at all.
Yeah. What else do we have here? I got to mention the music. So you
That's
know
the last
me,
thing I
I
have
know
written down,
you.
man.
We love our music. Personally, I thought the music was a little all over the place.
I didn't like it, man. It reminded me of a Godzilla movie. It was just way too epic sounding. You know, that epic, huge sound? That's what
Yeah,
this was, and this movie did not need that.
it was music for an action movie,
Yeah,
not music
yeah,
for a horror movie.
yeah.
And they kept playing this kind of techno version of the Pixies' Where Is My Mind?" Which was kind of distracting because it's like, just, hey, if you're gonna play it, play the original. But then, of course, they're playing the movie, and all I can think of is, oh, they used this song in Fight Club. Um, I don't know. I felt like, yeah, the music did not fit the tone of the movie
I
very
would
well.
agree with you on that, man.
I don't know, a bit all over the place. Like we were saying, I think to wrap it up, it's a weird action thriller horror movie hybrid that has a lot of really fun moments,
Yeah,
a lot of weird moments.
yeah,
I think we just wanted to see more of Gabriel.
yeah. Oh, I wanted to see where it came. It's, as I said, it's a good concept. Just needs
Yeah,
could have been executed a little better. That's all.
100%. Just edit. One more edit. That's
Yeah.
all we need. Do you want to move right along?
Yeah, let's do it, buddy.
Okay, we're going to move right along to our next segment. Lessons we learned from watching 2021's Malignant.
Lessons we learned from watching. Insert title of movie here.
The segment of the show where we talk about the valuable life lessons we learned from watching said movie. Blairski, did you learn a single thing from watching Malignant?
Just to make sure you seek medical help if your back of your head is bleeding for multiple days on end, because
Yeah,
concussions are no joke.
don't sleep it off.
No,
No,
no.
yeah,
That's all I learned, though, man.
absolutely. Good one. Good one. I learned a teratoma is a tumor consisting of tissue, hair, teeth, muscle, and bones. Gross.
So,
The human
Gabriel.
body is wild.
Yeah.
And then finally, as a homicide detective, never rule out the possibility of an imaginary friend as a suspect.
Hmm.
Although Gabriel is not an imaginary friend,
Still,
I mean,
can't
yeah,
rule it out. Can't rule
I
it
mean,
out.
you can't rule it out. You
No.
never know. That's all I have. Let's move right along to our next segment, Line of the Night.
Line of the night. Line of the night. Line of the night. Line of the night. Line of the night. Line of the night. Line of the night. Line of the night. Line of the night.
The segment of the show where we discuss our favorite lines from the movie. They might give us chills, they might give us the giggles. All we know is that they are our favorites. Blairski,
Yeah, buddy.
what do you got for Line of the Night?
I got two. The first is, it's time to cut out the cancer.
Yeah, right off the bat.
Yeah, said multiple times throughout the
Yep.
movie by multiple
Yep.
characters. Great line.
Great line.
The last line was said by one of the cops who says, "Oh, okay, so I'll put a bolo out on Sloth from the Goonies," which
Yeah.
I thought was hilarious.
Yeah, this is after the character Regina Moss saw the artist's rendering of Gabriel. Great line. I love that one.
So good.
I've got a couple more to add to that. Regina Moss also says, I read about one more sick kid and my brain will push out my eyeballs.
God.
Awesome. And then finally, Gabriel says, goodbye, sis.
Yeah, creepy.
Great line.
Yeah.
Great line. Yeah. Okay, this leads us to our final segment of the show. As you all know, some might even call this our favorite segment of the show. Blair and I are famously still on the fence about whether or not this is our favorite.
For life.
It's celebrity lookalike time.
Celebrity lookalike time.
The time of the show where we take a look at the cast and discuss their celebrity doppelgangers. A spoiler alert, it usually comes down to the character's hairstyle. Blairski, do you have any celebrity lookalikes?
Just one, and it definitely doesn't come down to any hairstyle, but Gabrielle, to me, looked like a chest burster from Alien.
Oh, okay, cool. We love a good chest burster.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I'm going to add on to the Gabriel. Gabriel and Madison in the the giant fight scene at the end, 15-minute fight scene, looked like, and I think it was the hair, the trench coat, but they looked like V from Vendetta, minus the top hat.
Yeah, and the mask.
Yeah, absolutely. Remember. Oh goodness. That's all I have.
Oh, it's too good, man.
Just like that. And just like that, we've reached the end of the show, which means we only have the final rating to give for 2021's Malignant. Blairski, out of 5 moments spent bonding with a family member, literally, what are you giving Malignant?
I'm going to give Malignant 3 moments spent bonding with family members, literally, out of 5. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed this movie.
It is a fun movie. I enjoyed it much more than I thought I would. I was not expecting what I saw, but I enjoyed it for the most part. Again, just needed a good edit. What a lot of crazy action scenes. I'm going to go a little bit lower, 2.5 moments spent bonding with a family member, literally, out of 5. This was a fun movie.
Yeah, it's a fun movie. I like the concept, and I think it's a good one for James Wan anyway. Better than Night Swim.
You mean the movie that shall not be named?
Yeah.
Don't go in the pool. Just don't go in the pool.
Don't go in the pool.
Gabriel, stay away from the pool. Oh, goodness gracious. Okay, this was a fun one. December, long month. We've got 3 more movies this month.
Yeah, that's unbelievable, man. Right.
I'm excited for it. Again, apologies for running a little late with these episodes. Life just gets in the way. We're in the busiest month of the year, some might say.
Just expect them. They might not be coming out every Monday now, but we'll still be bringing you episodes out every week. So
they'll be coming out. Yeah, I'm excited to chat about the next 3. But until then, this has been Review Set Scare with Jess and Blair. I'm Jess.
I'm Blair. Remember to stay scary
and eat every sandwich. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Thank you for listening to Review Set Scare. Make sure you check out our Linktree at linktree/reviewsetscare. That's linktr.ee/reviewsetscare, which has links to our Instagram, YouTube, Patreon, Twitch, and many other things. If you'd like to email us, you can reach us at reviewsetscare@gmail.com. Thanks for listening, and remember to stay scary and eat every sandwich.